Okay, so I wanted to start the year off right, so I purchased two new motorcycles, well, new to me. Okay, this is a bike I've always wanted to review, which is the KLR650, and then I end up getting another TW200, and I just kind of fell into the TW200. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but it'll suffice for my son to ride since he just turned, well, he's about to be 16. So I needed a nice entry-level dual sport for him to ride with me for our motor camping trips. So I have this bike here, which I would say is kind of like a basket case. And then I have this one over here, which I think is a gem. And I will go over in this video the KLR650 first. And then after that, the next video, we can talk about the TW200. I'm going to do a walkthrough, tell you what I saw when I went to purchase it, say what modifications I plan to do to fix the motorcycle if there's anything they need. So we'll take it step by step, right? First, let's hear how it sounds, because the KLR sounds great. Alright, so for the KLR, I drove about a little less than 2 hours, perhaps maybe it was 2 hours, I can't exactly remember, to pick up this motorcycle. Firstly, I want to tell you guys the price, because this motorcycle is kind of beat up, right? Everything's beat up. We got a dent in the tank, the front fairing is missing, the front cover. He took it off because he said he didn't like the aesthetic of the motorcycle. Okay, that's fine. It's a Gen 1 KLR. But there's a lot of things going on with this bike and a lot of things that need to change, need to be fixed, right? So when it comes to the price, he listed it for $2,000, which actually I think is a very good price for a KLR650. If you have a motorcycle that I can spend less than a day working on and I'm going to be able to do trips and travel, especially a versatile motorcycle like this, $2,000 is pretty fair, I would say. After I saw some of the things wrong with it, I offered him 16. He said he wanted 18. Let's meet at 17. So I got the motorcycle for $1,700. Now keep in mind the net value for this particular motorcycle is probably $1,300, right? It's got 25,000 miles, but that doesn't worry me because it's a single cylinder KLR. This thing's going to be easy to rebuild if I want to, but the engine doesn't smoke, you know, so there's promise here. It's got a lot of torque. It feels good. Okay, fine, $1,700. All right, so let me show you the things that needs to be worked on. Well, first let's go over to positives. The first positive is a beautiful seat concept seat, and that thing is comfortable. That's nice. It has an aftermarket exhaust, which that's also nice. It does have some new tires on it, but the road tires, you see they still have the little, some people call them the tits, or the little, you know, the mold lines there. That's on there. New rear blinkers. Indicators must have got broken off, so we have new ones there. And also, like I said, it runs good, so we have that. Oh, we have an aftermarket shift lever, I think. So, a couple things. Foot pegs look to be Amazon special aftermarket, but they do the job. Well, there's no spring in it. Should be a spring there, so that doesn't happen. But whatever. Not too bad. So, first thing I noticed is the bike is actually... Oh, we have also brand new radiators. So at some point this bike was probably dropped and the radiator was probably bent up and it was replaced. And by doing so, what I noticed is the bike was it was leaking coolant onto the exhaust. So we have to take that apart anyway. You know, it's probably just the hose isn't on there tight. And I would have taken all this off anyway. Just in my own mind, because I want to check the valves. Like when I get a motorcycle like this, first thing I want to do is look at the valves, see if I can, you know, see if they're out of tolerance, because I definitely don't want it consuming more oil than is necessary. You know, having bad fuel mileage, you lose a little bit of performance. So that's something I was going to do anyway, right? And by the time I brought it back from the test drive, I'm like, oh, you know, it's leaking a little bit of oil here. And he's like, oh, no, it doesn't leak oil. As I brush my hand across, then you can see it's clearly leaking oil. Now, you know, I'm just going to assume since he's a younger guy, he didn't know anything, right? But yeah, it's definitely leaking oil. But when you look up in here, I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm kind of holding it. It's coming out of the valve cover, so I already ordered a new gasket for that. And once again, I'm going to open all that up anyway. So we'll get that all cleaned up. You know, I have a problem. Like so when I look at something like this, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second. I start writing down every upgrade I'm going to do on a pad of paper. And then I start saying, well, I'm going to take the valve covers off, so I might as well do the valves anyway, and then throw a bore scope down the spark plug hole. And then maybe if that's scratched, maybe I'll do a top end rebuild and get the cylinder honed. Then I saw there's a 695 kit that doesn't need to be sleeved. You just get it honed. And I just go down this like rabbit hole of all these things I'm gonna do, and it's just crazy. And then I have to like catch myself and say, hey, look, we should just do the bare minimum for now, ride the bike for a couple months, test it out stock, see what we have. But I definitely want to do other things to it, and like if I don't do those things, I sell it. If I do those things, I never want to sell it, and that's the boat I get into, right? So what else we have going on here? We have a little crack in the dash, not a big deal. You know, everything's clapped out here, shift levers. The clutch is a little soft, not too bad, might just be a fine adjustment. It says the doohickey was done. At one point, either the bearings went bad, or I think this bike also has a cush hub. I had to check. Kind of looks like it does, like the DR. And so we had a little free play here, and this guy looks like it took a little chunk out of the aluminum there. So I'll look at that. So you can even see right there, it's kind of worn away. So yeah, that's definitely something that happened there. Every piece of hardware on this motorcycle is not the original, as you can see here. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, like I said, basket case, right? But it runs good, it sounds good, doesn't smoke. You know, I think there's promise here. For $1,700, I believe truly I can clean this motorcycle up, sink $1,000 into it, and still get my return on investment. And that's why I'm not so much afraid to work on something. Now, if I wanted to just fix it up real quick and flip it, I could do that too. But that's not generally where I'm at with it. I bought the motorcycle specifically for the channel, to ride for motor camping trips, to do some content on it, and to try to flesh out and see how much I actually like this motorcycle compared to like something like my Tenere or the DR650, you know, stuff like that. Other bikes that would be comparable in its class, that you would say, right? What I've purchased so far, oh yeah, we also have bar risers and aftermarket bars. So I got hand guards. This guy was broken over here. So that's kind of annoying where the mirror is, but so I'm going to run for this one the mirrors that go inside of the hand guards. I'm going to try them out for the first time. I have an aftermarket fender. We'll get rid of this big ugly one. We're going to clean that up. He tried painting it. We'll repaint it black. You know, it was actually painted. It was probably the original KLR color, as you can see there, that like greenish blue they use. We'll spray it back black so it matches the rest of the bike. Yeah, I have aftermarket blinkers, indicators for the front. We're going to do something about the lighting system because this light is horrendous. And also, this is another thing that bothered me that I'm going to have to rewire, is we have, can you hear that? So manually on a switch is the cooling fan, which is absurd. Yeah, so if you don't have a correct temperature gauge, at least hook it up to the ignition. You know, and then maybe you can run it all the time. That's better than forgetting to hit this switch when you're riding and overheating your bike. You know, you see your temperature gauge, at least it has one of those going through the roof. If I was going to keep this bike, I'd probably go back to a Trail Tech, because I really like them. I had that on DR, and it's so much more compact. You can move it over to here. You can put other like charging devices and other things here. So I really like that setup. So I might do something like that. But overall, man, this bike is pretty cool. You know, I have to get some new tires for it, obviously. The chains need some love. Maybe I can restore it, although it looks like, what do we have here? Is that even an O-ring chain? I think that's just, I can't really see in there. It kind of looks just like a basic chain, so I'll probably replace the chain as well. I want some security and some internal lubrication when I have the chains. Yeah, there's not much else to walk around about. I don't know what this is all about. That was cut out, and was there a bigger tail here? I have to look at the Gen 1s and see what they actually look like. But anyway, I got LED lights. What we'll do is we'll make a plate, and we'll mount our license plate here, and then we have little LED lights that are gonna, I already ordered them, that are gonna blow through there to fix that up. So overall, yeah, pretty cool bike. maybe I should take it for a little rip and show you guys what it's like. Oh, and yeah, like I said, the next video will be that guy. And she is cold-blooded, man. Oh, somebody replaced the choke with a pull button choke. So you gotta, and it wants the spring back, so I have to replace that because you gotta kind of have 3 hands to use the choke on this. That's why it just gave me a little bit of trouble starting here. So the clutch is a little late, but that's all right. Probably just an adjustment. If not, clutch kit for this bike with the gasket's probably like 70 bucks. See, the coolest thing about these bikes is they're just like it just lugs along. Back tire broke loose. It doesn't have any traction on it, so it just kind of does what it pleases. Let's get out to the road so I can give you guys a little bit of a pull. Make sure no one's coming. Oh yeah, I can't forget to turn on my freaking radiator cord. Yeah, I mean, so this thing pulls really good. Quite honestly surprised. For the rest of the bike being, you know, what it is, the engine, I don't know. Perhaps it was rebuilt at some point. Got some spongy brakes on this bike. Actually, the front doesn't feel as bad as everybody complains, but the rear feels a little spongy. Fix to that is you get some stainless steel braided brake cables so you don't have as much sponge. So on a car, it doesn't make a huge difference because you're only working with, you know, the last 5 or 10% of the whole system. But on a bike like this, it's like close to 100% of the system. So, you know, any kind of, you know, anything that's going to expand is going to affect the way the brakes feel. Might need some little bit of carb adjustment there. We got a little bit of popping on the D-cell. Not too bad. Not bad for 1,700 bucks. Alright guys, that is the new kind of clapped KLR650. No, it's got some heart to it. I think there's a lot of promise with this one, and with all of its custom hardware. So I hope you enjoyed and look forward to seeing more content and end season full flushed out review of this motorcycle.